Throw a question to Lynette, actually, because
Mm,
you are someone who mentors and supervises. So, I mean, I would like to know what goes on in your head when someone comes in as a mentee,
mm.
um, someone who comes in as your supervisee. What are the different things as a mentor and supervisor that's going on in your head? We know there's overlap, but are
Mm.
there different things that go in your head?
Yeah, there are, Chris. So obviously, as you're saying, so mentoring, coaching, supervision, they're all helping professions, right? So we're all geared at helping people in ministry in whatever context they're in, staying healthy, doing their work well, but the focus is different. So when I'm mentoring someone, I'm looking at the whole person and their whole of life, and the focus is quite very much is on them and their goals and what they're wanting to do. Now, ministry may be a part of that, but that's only a part of what we're doing, not the whole thing. Supervision, the main focus of supervision is the work. So that's the main game in the room. And as we've already talked about, the focus there is the supervisee, but also those that they are supervising, even though it's through the medium of the supervisee. So that's quite a different focus. And as someone who does both, you do need to be mindful as a supervisor of what hat you're wearing and being very clear of your own professional boundaries in that, and working with that. So it's a lot about recognizing, yes, there are similar skill sets, but what's the focus of the work and how are we doing that work together? And, one of my jobs is to hold that space. So as a supervisor, it's my responsibility to help the supervisee stay in that supervision space, and not wander over to the other things that we could be doing.
In supervision, the focus is primarily on the work and the impact it's having on the worker, while mentoring is more a whole of life focus, and coaching is more often problem solving, training, or strategy focused.
So before I became a supervisor, I was mentored. I was engaged in a mentoring for 3 years, and it's probably because it was my sort of initial 3 years of mentoring relationship. But we focused a lot about values and philosophies of ministry and life per se. What I didn't really, what didn't happen for me is that how those values connected to my ministry. That didn't quite happen in mentoring relationship. And that's, again, probably because I was initial sort of stage of engaging in a mentoring relationship, and I was kind of working really hard to understand those values and, just setting up some, stepping stones in my life, that sort of stuff. But in supervision, whatever your values might be, those things needs to translate into the practice of ministry. So what you believe to be important there is a sense in which where that needs to come in line with what you actually do. And so in supervision, I think I'm trying really hard with our supervisees. Tell me what you believe. This has to be what's your value, and how does that reflect in what you actually do? That question needs to be. So again, what Jeff said and what everybody said about the importance of the main game as the practice of your ministry, that's important. That's the main game, but it's connecting with your values and primarily your values and your philosophy of ministry. So I just wanted to kind of emphasize that importance. And as Jeff said, it's not really hard, sort of cut, dry sort of kind of thing, but it's an evolving thing. And some supervisors I know that they like to integrate spiritual direction into their pastoral supervision. Some like to put, mentoring into that. So yeah, and I think it's really great for the supervisees to be able to, receive that.
There's also plenty of scope within the context of the supervisory contract for the supervisee to explore theological reflection, as Joseph was talking about values. There's the integration of the values that underpin practice with practice, and reflecting on how someone lives out their values in their actual work. The opportunities to reflect on the spaces between what the unsaid thing might be. That can often be more, it can often speak louder than the things that are actually said. So Joseph makes a very good point about taking the opportunity to explore values, how they're applied, and particularly within a Christian context, for a supervisor to facilitate theological reflection on praxis by the supervisee, because one of the key dimensions of supervision is ongoing formation. It's a lifelong thing, in a regular bites, lifelong through ministry life, and thinking very carefully about how you apply what you believe in practice is at the forefront of that learning.